Hello and welcome back. As always, I thank you for taking this time out of your day, your evening, and joining us here. As I frequently say, it's very important. Okay, the end, right? That's an understatement, isn't it? In this world where everything appears to be going haywire at all times, and even if it's not going haywire in your life or in your country or your place of residence, it's going haywire somewhere else on wobbling, spinning ball of rock. In other words, it's going haywire in our mind. Violence and turmoil on the other side of the globe is going on in our mind. Yours too, right? Our one mind. Now, we're not taught that in school. And in fact, we're not taught any of this growing up. If you were, consider yourself very fortunate indeed. I was not. I think that most of us can relate to that. Just a bit of backdrop before we talk about some passages in the text here. This course aims to bring about a complete change in our outlook and in our thinking. It is a thought system designed to replace our existing thought system, which in truth is non-existing, but we think we're individual human beings. We're not. You heard that right, and you know that's true. This isn't you. You know that's true. So let's all accept that. You don't have to do that, by the way. You don't have to accept anything this course says. And if you're just checking it out and you think it's weird, well, you would not be the first to think this is highly bizarre, and you certainly will not be the last. Because again, it aims to bring about a reversal, 100% reversal of our thought. We do not see things as we are. We think this is who we are. It's not so, and we know that. Whether we choose to acknowledge that is another question entirely, isn't it? And yes, expect extraordinary resistance on the path. For sure, if you're going to study this course, just know what you're getting into. It's what you've always wanted, the peace of God. So, what do we have to do first? Well, I don't know. What's coming up for you that needs forgiveness right now? Start with that. And then we do it again and again and again. We'll say a few more words here about forgiveness in a moment. It's very important that we approach this with eyes wide open, knowing that what we're bringing about is a complete reversal of our thought. Why does that matter? Well, our miscreation has produced this hot mess that we appear to find ourselves in. This thing's fallible, frail, can barely stand the prick of a pin, and frequently breaks, and eventually decays and disappears. That's not eternal, is it? Neither is the world itself. We have the power of decision, the power of choice, our choice, our free election right now in the present moment to switch thought systems. The thought system of the ego is what we were raised with. It's where we think we are running amok as individual human beings. We think we're citizens of whatever country we think we're citizens of. We carry this thing called a passport that allows us to visit what we deem to be other countries. What's that? What is that? They're artificial boundaries that people made up, and people that came before us, in many cases, these boundaries were drawn by a bunch of old men long ago. And they both look and are completely arbitrary. Think about it. That's only one example. What we face when we're ready to do it and when we accept it is that we don't see things as they are. We think we're individual human beings running amok doing life. We think we're our jobs. Really? Why? Have you ever asked yourself, why do we think all of that? Why do we think we're our reputation? Why do we think we're the size or lack thereof of our bank account? Why? Where did that come from? Great questions. Keep going with those, yeah? We don't see things as they are. In truth, we're neither the size of our bank account, nor our occupation, nor our political affiliation, nor our country of residence, nor our gender, or our ethnic group, whatever, our height, our weight, our reputation, even, our prestige. None of that. It's not who we are. Our physical body is not who we are. We don't see things as they are. In practicing true forgiveness as taught in A Course in Miracles, we are learning to see them as they are. So, what forgiveness does is that it simply wipes away, and you could use the word if you want to, eliminates, though it does not eliminate it with a violence. It wipes away the gap that appears to exist between what we think we are and who and what we really are. Forgiveness wipes this gap away. I mean, you could use the word cancels, but we're not talking about cancel culture. It does. It cancels it as light cancels the darkness. It simply makes it disappear simply by turning on a light in a dark room. The darkness, which was so prevalent just the moment before, vanishes. Where is it? It's gone. It is not there. And with the light on, it looks as though the darkness were never there. Exactly. It was not. Every time we forgive, we, you could put it this way, strengthen our mind. We wipe away this gap, which is only a perceived gap between what we really are and what we think we are. Individual self-sustaining survival unit. doing pitched battle over here with our brother, because that's the way we've set it up. Great. What if we unset it up? What then? This course takes courage and dedication. Because when you look around, ask yourself this: who is really ready to question the very foundations of everything that they now believe? Who's willing to accept, not admit, but yeah, I mean, admit, but accept that everything you thought about yourself is wrong? I mean, who's ready for that? You're ready for that. You're watching this. So I know that you're ready. You may choose not to take that flying leap today, and that's okay. But you're here, you're paying attention. Consider that is not an accident. There are no accidents. There are no coincidences. There is a reason why you're watching this. And yeah, it's deep. You deserve nothing less. Come on, really, you deserve nothing less. Haven't you played around enough? Haven't you dabbled in this here and that there enough? And maybe your answer, no, I haven't. I'm going to go dabble here and here, and maybe I'll come back to this. And yeah, that's fine, but come back to it you will. It doesn't have to be in this lifetime. This points us to truth. Truth is beyond all of our concepts, including language. It's beyond all form. All any teacher, such as this pixelated image on your screen, can do is point to it. I mean, that's right. That's it. We've got to do our own forgiveness work. And this is where a lot of people become, and understandably so, frustrated. It's very easy to feel that none of this is working. So let's address this because it's very important as a practical matter. It is. It's very easy, isn't it? I'm sure you've experienced this multiple times where it felt like your practice, whatever that is not working. Well, let me ask you this question, and you may find this is helpful on those days where you want to give up. And maybe today is one of those days for you. I don't know. If not, then it's coming. And you've had them before. Huh. Yeah. Yes. When you feel that it isn't working, consider this, and hopefully this may help you. Think about whatever your practice is, whether it's this course or something else, whatever that looks like. Who were you when you began? Let's take A Course in Miracles. That's what this video series is all about. What was it like for you? Who were you when you first encountered this? Or shall we more correctly say, it encountered you and said, here. And who are you now after what we call the passage of time? It's worth examining who you are now. And on these days where it feels like you want to give up, compare that to who you were when you first started out this particular journey. I often find it very helpful to think of things that annoyed me or made me extremely angry when this course found me. And now, after what we call the passage of time, those thoughts don't even register, and they certainly don't anger me. So think about that. And this thing that we call the passage of time could be as short as a couple of minutes or decades. Who are you now as compared with who you were starting out? Do the same things bother you? Do the same things cause you to become really upset? And when you discover that no, they don't, I approach this differently, I see this differently, yes, you do. That can serve in moments of doubt as proof positive that this is working, and it's okay if you want proof. Pixelated image on your screen over here appears to be a middle-aged man. That's just an appearance, after all, as we all know. What's going on is the Holy Spirit is communicating with you constantly. It uses forms that we can recognize, like middle-aged man from New Mexico in the United States. I mean, we're used to seeing middle-aged dudes. They're pretty common. It's just an appearance. It's the Holy Spirit that's addressing you. And it's part of our mind, not a foreign entity, not an outside power. So when we call upon this part of our mind for support and guidance, we're accessing our true power. We are not giving it away. Now, we cannot expect everyone on Wobbling Spinning Ball of Rock to just agree with us, and you may not agree either. Part of the path, not a problem. When you want proof that things are working, what we all must realize is that we must prove this to ourselves. Pixelated image will prove nothing to you. How can it? It's a collection of dots. It's very insubstantial. Mm? Hmm. You know that's true. It doesn't last. How could it be the Son of God? Let yourself go there. I invite you to do just that. You deserve nothing less. Yeah, you deserve nothing less. Anything that comes up in your experience that is not completely joyful, and I do mean 100% joyful, anything that annoys you, anything that bugs you or rankles you or infuriates you or makes you sad, anything that is not 100% perfectly and completely joyous is an opportunity to forgive. Now, forgiveness, as taught in this course and as we're invited to practice it, gives us the proof that we're looking for. When we do this, when we do this course, we learn it. Yes, it has value to watch a video such as this or to read the materials and understand them or have some semblance of a grasp on what this is intellectually saying, sure, that has some value, but it's absolutely nothing compared with the practical value of application, moment to moment, minute to minute, in your daily life where something extraordinarily powerful takes place. You do this course, your experience shows you these ideas are true. It does. It demonstrates to you, and yeah, it proves to you that these ideas are true. It proves to you what you've always known. You are not a body. There's more to experience and life than this thing, which only looks alive. It's not you. You know who you are. You know what you are. You know where you are. I'll give you a hint on that one. Ideas leave not their source. You're an idea, the thought of God. So source with a capital S, please. You'll see it written in lowercase here in the course throughout, in many places, to elaborate on the idea that thoughts remain in the mind of the thinker. We cannot project them. You can't project your own guilt and fear onto somebody else. It's in your mind. So too are your loving thoughts, your forgiving thoughts. So as we go forward in our practice, we notice the attack thoughts. We notice our thoughts of condemnation and guilt and rage and blame and hatred. And we replace them with loving thoughts, with forgiving thoughts. And watch your perception change. You will no longer see things the way you once did. We'll witness what we talked about a few minutes ago. On the days where it feels impossible, who were you when you started out? Who are you today? See the difference? Okay. We prove this to ourselves. And that's how we learn the best. So, yeah, a pretty ingenious setup here with this practical self-study curriculum. Huh. Well, Jesus knows exactly what he's doing, doesn't he? Yeah. The profundity of this, the depth of this, can in fact boggle the intellectual thinking mind. Let it. What we're doing when we're really doing the course and really forgiving is we're moving right beyond the intellect completely to experience. Truth is beyond the intellect. Our intellectual thinking mind is a master of slicing and dicing and separating things like an obsidian blade into multiple component parts. A slicer and a dicer, reductionist as can be. And we value and esteem this. Look, my wife Cindy and I just moved, and we're still hanging pictures and paintings up on the wall. Just yesterday, I encountered my two framed degrees, one of them a doctorate, which is simply to say that I've really bought into the values of this world and found them completely lacking. I'm just saying. The intellect will only take us so far. What matters is experience. And as you well know from whatever past practice you have or study, spirituality is all about experience. Truth can be known, i.e., experienced. This experience bypasses the intellectual thinking mind completely. And if you know, you know. It's funny that that's now a hashtag, IYKYK in English. If you know, you know. Exactly. It's funny that that's a thing on social media these days, but it's true. We know who, what, and where we are. Source, capital S. Idea, the thought of God, the Son of God, God's creation, leaves not the mind of God. Ever. It's not possible. So allow yourself to go there. A lot of allowing. Gosh, we say that a lot, don't we? Allow, accept, yes. When we throw up walls and barriers, we're only harming ourselves. Take that wall down, one brick at a time, if you must. You need not do it with violence. In fact, if you go at it violently, you're making that brick wall very solid. You'll find it's still there, even after multiple sledgehammer blows. Would you not rather go beyond it? Right now, when else? All right. I thank you for tuning in and for all of your dedication and commitment to practice. You're here for a reason. You'll have heard, as we're about to wrap this video up, something that resonates with you or speaks to you. Maybe it just grabs your attention and maybe you experienced it hitting you like a club. Well, I don't know. But you know what the message or messages are for you. So, should you have any questions, please feel welcome to comment here on the comment thread. It's a very good place to do it. And if you're concerned, as people often are, and understandably so, that your question is too basic or a beginner question that you should know, I invite you to ask those. Those beginner-ish questions are almost always the best. There could be people out there that have been studying this course for decades that will benefit from your asking a basic question because you don't ever know when the light bulb, so to speak, is going to come on for someone, where all of a sudden they get something that had previously eluded them. You don't know when that moment's going to come for you. And you could be doing somebody on the other side of this illusory globe, wobbling, spinning ball of rock with a molten core, tilting and wobbling and tilting and wobbling and going like this. Dizzy yet? Well, you could positively influence someone whom you're not likely to run into in person, plus get your question answered as well. So please feel welcome to do that. I'm here to serve as a guide for you, as a resource. So if I can help you in any way, I hope that you'll please reach out and let me know. And please subscribe as well. Prompt is here. That's the arrow that's been up here in the corner of your screen. Subscribe, click it, join us. And you know what? I often say this, but let's wrap up with this. You deserve nothing less than what this course points you to: truth, knowledge of who and what you are. I know you know what that is. So go there, will you? Thank you.